Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/Capes and Lunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
The blackest night falls from the skies. The darkness grows as all light dies. We crave your hearts and your demise. By my black hand, the dead shall rise. You should know that by now, kids. Come on. Be able to recite it with me. All right. Welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast, and Red Lanterns, and Blue Lanterns, and Black Lanterns. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, master of all cores, living and dead. It is.
I will. Hey, everyone.
That's right. Part 6 of Blackest Night is here, kids. So, what, about halfway through this episode? We'll be at the halfway point already?
Yep.
Halfway.
And it's interesting what happens at the halfway point.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And we haven't even, like, there's still stuff we haven't gotten to yet. Like the Wonder Woman, Justice Society,
Oh, yeah.
Flash, yeah.
Lots of stuff.
Yes, kids. But tonight, yes, we are going to cover, let me pull up the list here. Adventure Comics 4 and 5, Phantom Stranger 42, Catwoman 83, Wild Western Tales 71, and Blackest Night number 4. And
I think that's weird. I think it's Weird Western Tales, not Wild.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so.
I'll have to look that up. But yes, okay. I mean, just have it down wrong. But I think this is the first week. I mean, we really don't have many lanterns. I mean, except for Black Lanterns, we really don't have a lot of lanterns. Like Alan Scott's pretty much the closest thing we have to a Green Lantern in this thing.
Absolutely, yep. And I mean, we have in the Blackest Night book, Howl's and the rest of the Corps' absence is very much, on the minds of Barry Allen and Mera and the Atom. So yeah, it's a particularly Green Lantern less issue, set of issues that we have this time out.
I know, because even in that Blackest Night issue, the Blackest Night issue, there's not really Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so should we cover those in the order I read those off?
That's perfectly fine. That's the way I read them. So.
Okay, yeah, me too. So, so let you get to your favorite character first, too.
Who would that be, Phil? Huh? This guy right here, huh?
Superboy Prime, yeah. I'm wearing this Superboy Prime shirt. But in number 4, we did get a Legion of Superheroes backup story.
That's
Will
true. Yeah, also in number 5 as well.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's jump in. We got 6. So all right. Adventure Comics Volume 2, number 4 from January 2010. Superboy Prime. He primed me, part 1. Spoiler alert. Writers Jeff Johns and Sterling Gates, penciler Jerry Ordway, inker Bob Wycheck, colorist Brian Busaletto, letterer Steve Wands, and editors Sean Ryan and Elizabeth V. Gerling. Clark Kent of Earth Prime is still reading comics in his basement, trying to keep up with everything in the other worlds. He is just starting on Adventure Comics Volume 2, number 4. Elsewhere, Alex Luthor is resurrected along with the rest of the JLA's morgue as a Black Lantern, the Alexander Luthor for 3 kids. Instead of following Firestorm, he gathers a number of Black Lantern rings and disappears. In the 31st century of Earth Prime, Brainiac 5 rails against the government, having blocked the Legion's attempts to excavate old San Diego, pointing to a recently found copy of Final Crisis Legion of 3 Worlds number 4.
I love that.
I know. He notes that they may have been able to save Element Lad and Sunboy, who died during that event. He is interrupted by an alarm going off. The alarm is tied to Superboy Prime leaving his parents' house in the 21st century. Having reached the end of the issue of Adventure Comics, Superboy Prime panics. He forces his parents to drive him to the local comic book store. On the way, Naomi Kent tells him that she is afraid of him. Once at the store, he demands a copy of Adventure Comics Volume 2, number 5. The clerk points out that issue 4 just came out, but points Prime to the store's computer and the internet where he might find some spoilers. As he starts looking, Luthor appears and kills the other occupants of the store. During their confrontation, he restores Prime's armor and his powers to enhance his rage. Luthor continues to goad Prime as they fight, attacking his parents and telling him that he is nothing more than a cosmic inside joke. Prime is assaulted with kryptonite and red solar radiation as the other Luthor, gathered with the rings, join the attack. See what happens when you send these incels out to touch grass, kids?
Exactly.
So, William, thoughts?
This is kind of crazy. I mean, I love the inclusion of Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah, which was, this ancient document. And it's the same Superboy that we've come to know and loathe from his many appearances throughout, Infinite Crisis into Sinestro Corps War and beyond.
I mean, when you have guys like Zombie Max Lord running around, and you're still the craziest. Superboy Prime is still the craziest guy running around. Yeah, you got problems.
You do have problems.
But I was just reading this. I was like, okay, I get the meta, like the inside meta joke, but I'm like, did they go too meta with this, or?
Well, I kind of think they do because he actually goes to the DC offices in the next issue.
Oh yeah, he almost kills
Yeah.
the guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean yeah. And then do you want to go ahead and jump into number 5?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk it as a one thing here. All right, so Adventure Comics Volume 2, number 5, or the one he was craving here. Same team. Superboy Prime continues his fight with Alexander Luthor Jr.'s Black Lanterns in the skies above Earth Prime's Manhattan. Say that 3 times fast. He stirs the fight to and through the offices of DC Comics, intending that if he is going to die, he is going to take those he deems responsible for his fate, those responsible for the comic books, with him. As they plow through the office, Luthor teleports them to the basement of Prime's home. There he continues to goad Prime as the other Black Lanterns strip off his armor. Realizing he cannot win, he catches one of the Black Lantern rings and puts it on. Instead of commanding him to rise, it commands him to die. Is that a black ring or Will Allred? Jeez. As he is transformed, the ring cycles him through the emotional spectrum. It highlights the willpower generated by his demand for respect, the compassion fueled by his regret over Lori Lemon, the avarice for his desire for all to love him, his fear of the heroes of New Earth, the rage of his self-hatred, and his love for Lori. The cycle burns out the ring and the Black Lanterns. Even the Black Lanterns like, nah, we don't want no party.
Well, yeah, we're out, man. We're out.
Cosmic zombies are like, we want no part of you. No problem, kid. Alone in the ruins of his basement, Prime admits that he hates what he has become, and all he wants now is just a happy ending. Lori comes down the stairs, calling his name. Confused, he asks her how it is possible she is there at all. She implies that she was sent as a peace offering, a way of telling him that he would be left alone. He does not see that she is wearing a Black Lantern ring, or that it is registering hope.
Now, I don't remember. Does Superboy Prime appear again in Blackest Night?
I can't remember. I know he appears in the DC universe, but I can't remember if it's in Blackest Night at all. I can't remember. Does he make more appearances in any Green Lantern stuff?
I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research on that.
So
But
I know they kind of give him his final fate in like Dark Knights. Was it Dark Knight's Metal or something? So
okay.
if not,
Because
he will appear then.
no spoilers, but the picture of Hal up in the right corner, I don't think that happens until much later in the Jeff Johns run. Is that right?
Oh, what in issue 5?
No, not even in Blackest Night. I think it happens in like the maybe Wrath of the First Lantern or something. Like toward the end of his run on Green Lantern, they bring some of the. I think I'm not sure because I don't. Maybe it shows up in Green Lantern. I just don't remember where it's from.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, this it's driving me crazy. Just the Superboy Prime thing. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, Superboy Prime. Oh, no, wait, we had one of the backups was Superboy backup.
Yeah, in the second one, but the Legion one was in the
It
first
was
one.
the first one. Yeah, gotcha.
So
And the Legion backup was interesting, and I thought the Superboy Connor Kent Superboy was interesting. I mean, it's got crypto in it. How can you not love a story with crypto in it, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I think they were kind of doing Connor Kent stories for the most part in this thing, but then yeah, I guess they did Superboy Prime for this because again, if they hadn't been, this would have been another candidate for hey, let's do like a resurrected for another issue because because what did they say? Oh yeah, the first volume went for 500 some issues because they said or if they had kept the original numbering, what is it, number 5?
You started renumbering, it was like 524 or something like that, I think.
Here it says, the issue 5 would have been 508. So yeah, it's some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And of course that cover of 5 with zombie Alex Luthor holding Superboy Prime is an homage to Crisis on Infinite Earths cover number 7. Yes.
By the very much missed George Perez.
God, that thing's probably been homage more than anything, you think?
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, even more than Dark Knight Returns or Watchmen's cover, they've made fun of a lot, but that Crisis on it, that cover
because it's kind of easy to like reproduce because all you need is one character holding another in their arms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the original Adventure Comics, it ended with number. That was from 98. 503. So, and it went until. Oh, wow. Okay, it's got a lot of issues. That would have been 1983 was when it ended.
Okay.
1983. And then the series was rebooted and we got a new Adventure Comics number 1. Several months before the event started.
The tail end of 2009. Yeah, so.
Yeah. So interesting.
But
yeah. So Superboy Prime. Hey, I think we're done with Superboy Prime now. Right?
What?
Right? We're done with Superboy Prime now?
I hope so.
I'll drink to that.
Like he was home and they had to drag him back into this.
Yep, absolutely. And shouldn't that universe have had like its own Blackest Night thing going on?
Wasn't Superboy Prime the only superpowered being? Because I don't even think there was aliens. I think it was supposed to be like the real world. So I'm just like,
But then it's also the Legion is from the old version of the original version of the Legion is from Earth Prime as well, right? They revealed that. So
it's. I don't know. Getting a headache.
Yep. Moving along.
All right, the next one will be the Phantom Stranger. I'll do the credits, but this is the only one I think that doesn't have a synopsis for some reason. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. All right. I'm just making double check. That it doesn't have a synopsis. Yeah, no synopsis. All right. The Phantom Stranger, Volume 2, number 42, March 2010. Deadman Walking. Writer Peter Tomasi. Oh, there's Tomasi again. Penciler Ardian Saif. Inker Vincent Cifuentes. Colorist Ulysses Arola. Letterer Steve Wands. And editor Adam Schlauman.
And number 41 was published in 1976.
Wow. What? Well, okay,
Uh,
okay. Put this in perspective. Last issue was printed in 1976.
February, March of 1976.
So pretty close to almost 2 years before my birth.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
A few years after my birth.
Yeah,
Not by many.
I'm just saying, that's how long ago it was. So yeah, and this one doesn't have a synopsis, but yes, opens up with Phantom Stranger and Blue Devil being attacked by the possessed Spectre.
Yeah. Black Lantern Spectre, which actually looks kind of cool, with the big old symbol right there. And yeah.
It's basically white and gray, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically wants to go find Hal Jordan.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got to go judge Hal Jordan.
Like, what the hell? I'm like, what, do you sleep with your sister or something?
Come on, man. Probably, but whatever.
Oh, no, he was one of the last hosts, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I helped you fight off that parallax. Now you're going to help me fight off this black ring.
Yeah. Freaking Green Lanterns.
I know. Oh, but that panel where the Spectre's like trying to fight his way out of the
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blue Devil's like, this is getting weird.
But now and then the evil Spectre batters the good Spectre in the face with the Phantom Stranger of Blue Devil. Just like, get back in there.
Whack, whack, whack. And then he basically heads out after Hal Jordan while they're in Boston Brand's grave. So the Phantom Stranger grabs like his mask and a trapeze. Was it a trapeze piece? It looked like.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And they go off to search for Deadman, who's basically jumping into Black Lanterns and having them hurt themselves because they're attacking. Was it Nanda Parbat? Is that right?
Nanda Parbat. Yes.
Nanda Parbat. Thank you. Yeah. And then the Phantom Stranger has to. He's the boss. The Deadman's getting lost inside the latest Black Lantern he's possessed, so he has to bring him out. And then they're able to take his body into Nanda Parbat, and it's important that it stays there. Brightest day. And and then they leave. There you go.
Yeah. The whole thing is, it's just like, he's jumping from all these different Black Lanterns trying to defend Nanda Parbat, like you said. It's just the Phantom Stranger's like, no, you gotta drive your own body and get it into Nanda Parbat.
Get it in there because it's important.
No.
Brightest day.
But yeah, when Deadman's in one of those bodies, he's like, I gotta fight the Black Lanterns, or But before that, he's like, I'm a Black Lantern, I must feed Necron.
Oh, who's that?
Who's that? Who's that?
I think we're gonna find out in about 15 minutes, maybe.
But yeah, that's a thing too, where the Phantom Stranger like wraps him in his coat or cloak or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I thought this was a pretty enjoyable issue overall. I mean, there's nothing, really earth-shattering. It's different than what we get from a lot of those limited series and those kind of one-shot stories, in that it's not someone coming back to mess with him. He's just fighting the fight right now, right? This is just moving the fight along. So it's kind of a nice change of pace from those, hey, someone you loved, hated, killed, whatever, comes back to try and, take your heart kind of thing. which we're gonna finish those next week, I guess.
Yeah,
Or is
what?
we-
I think, we'll
Batman. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah.
we'll look at this schedule to see if it's on schedule for next week.
Batman, my favorite character.
No, I was just clicking the link because I was like, have they ever revealed the Phantom Stranger's origin? And it says he is a mysterious figure in the history of the world. His origins, nature, even his name have never been revealed. Although I guess, I don't know, I guess there's been a few where they've theorized. I don't know. One tale postulated that the stranger was a fallen angel who sided with neither heaven nor hell during Satan's rebellion and thus condemned to walk the earth alone for all time.
Mm-hmm.
Another proposes the stranger was originally a private citizen during biblical times and was spared God's wrath. An angel was sent to deliver him from divine wrath. And after questioning God's actions, he commits suicide. The angel, so yes. And then third, in the variation of the wandering Jew story, he was an adult family man named Isaac with a wife, a boy at the time when Jesus Christ was a small child. So basically, any
Biblical. It's very biblical.
seems like the common thread between all these theories is yes, it's biblical, and he's damn old.
Really, like a lot.
Oh, you want an even older one? There's a fourth theory. Was a proposal that the stranger is a remnant of the previous universe.
Wow, they went all Galactus on him.
I was gonna say he's Galactus, yeah. Oh yeah. It's saying at the end of the universe, the Phantom Stranger approaches a group of scientists studying the event, warning them not to interfere in the natural conclusion in the universe. The story concludes with the Phantom Stranger passing a portion of himself to a scientist. The universe is reborn, and the scientist from the previous universe is the Phantom Stranger in the new universe.
That is exactly Galactus.
Except he kind of guest stated in that cube for like a billion years.
Yeah, it was a while, and he woke up with a powerful hankering.
He matured in that Jack Kirby cube.
That's right.
All right. All right. So should we move on?
You bet.
All right. Now we're gonna get to Catwoman, Volume 3, 83. This one, this one was I liked because I had been reading that I read the whole entire Catwoman series when it was coming out, so it's like it's back.
And I was getting it too because I was reading it, plus the great Adam Hughes is doing the covers,
yes.
right?
Catwoman 83, March 2010, Night and the City. Writer Tony Bedard, pencilers Fabrizio Florentine, Ibrahim Robertson, and Marcos Mars, and Fabrizio and Ibrahim are also the inkers, along with Luciana Del Negro, colorist Chuck Priez, Frank Martin, and Rod Reyes, letterer Jared K. Fletcher, and editors Rex Ogle, Adam Schlauman, and Eddie Berganza. A lot of people on this. All right.
Quick note: this series number 82 was in 2008, so this 83 is only like 2 years later. So yeah.
I was gonna say
a little bit different than the Phantom Stranger. Yeah.
I was gonna say this one the shortest. Yeah. All right. So you said you were reading the Catwoman series?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time though.
Yeah. Black Mask recounts how he started out as the leader of the False Face Society before he and Batman duked it out in his burning house, which fused his mask to his face. Later, when Catwoman stole from him, he kidnapped her sister and brother-in-law, torturing them both and killing the latter. Finally, he recalls when Catwoman killed him. And no, it's not just he killed the brother-in-law. He ripped his eyes out and fed them to her sister. The memory download is complete. Roman Sionis of Earth joins the Black Lantern Corps. Gotham City is suffering a blackout, so Catwoman is currently robbing the museum. She has stolen numerous items through her life, but the only thing she's ever regretted is taking a man's life. I don't know, man. If you're feeding them, I don't know if you fed my sister her lover's eye or her husband's eyeballs. I don't know if I'd be regret killing you.
And it's oddly, that she's thinking about that for some reason. That, yeah, there you go.
She hears sirens and she is about to leave when a hand wraps around her wrist and pulls her out of the museum. She is shocked to see Black Mask. She remembers killing him, and anyway, he couldn't fly before. He wasn't this strong. Black Mask analyzes Catwoman's emotions and sees fear, rage, and will. He tries to trash talk her, but Catwoman wraps her whip around his tongue before he can finish his sentence. She rips his tongue and his jaw away from his head, but they grow back. He tells her this is how she dies. He's going to rip her heart out of her chest, and she'll join the Black Lantern Corps too. She refuses to give him the satisfaction of seeing her afraid, and she glows green with willpower. Black Mask pulls away, confused and angry. He says he knows how to get what he wants, her fear, and flies away. Catwoman is confused. The man she loved is dead, and her daughter is far away. Then she remembers her sister Maggie. She sends up a flare for Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Catwoman is stealing a car when Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn find her. They have to go save her sister, she says, and Harley comments that she never mentioned a sister before. The patients of the Adams Psychiatric Institute are being evacuated to the gymnasium. An orderly and a nun are escorting Maggie Cowell down the hall when the walls change to resemble the room where Maggie and her husband were tortured. She suddenly breaks free of her catatonia and escapes her escorts, running down the hall, crying that she can't let him hurt her again. Anyone else find it ironic that Catwoman's sister was suffering from catatonia? Thank you. Black Mask is floating outside the Institute, using his power on the walls when Catwoman pulls up with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Catwoman runs inside to find her sister while Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn take on Black Mask. Selena and Maggie hug when they find each other. Maggie asks why Selena stopped visiting, and Selena says she didn't even know Maggie knew she was there. Maggie is distraught at the memories of what Black Mask did to her and Simon, and when Selena tries to comfort her, Maggie says that it's Selena's fault she's a widow. Selena ruined both their lives when she put on that costume. Selena angrily reveals that she killed Black Mask so he couldn't hurt anyone ever again before pulling Maggie down the hall, telling her she has a lifetime to blame Selena for what happened, but right now they've got to go. Around the corner, they find Black Mask holding Harley Quinn's mallet. He says that Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn didn't make it. Nobody gets close to Catwoman without paying a price. He chains Selena to a wall and asks her if she ever wondered what it was like for Maggie to watch Black Mask taking her husband apart. She doesn't need to wonder anymore. He's going to do the same to Maggie while Selena watches. Maggie says that Selena won't care if he does. Selena doesn't love Maggie, and Maggie doesn't love her. Selena thinks this sounds like she means it, but Black Mask notes that Selena wouldn't be here if it was true. Neither Maggie nor Black Mask can believe that Selena regretted killing him, and Harley Quinn suddenly appears and says, "She's funny like that. Of course, she's also a better person than you or me." A carnivorous plant emerges from the ground below them and swallows Black Mask whole. Catwoman is relieved that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are alive, and they apologize for being late. This was the best idea they could come up with considering his regenerative powers. This is like a pitcher plant on steroids. It will keep digesting him even as his ring keeps bringing him back. They have to move the plant away from people just to be safe, though. Slaughter Swamp isn't far. The sooner this plant is rooted in waste and wetlands, the more confident Poison Ivy will be about keeping him contained. Catwoman realizes Maggie is missing, and Poison Ivy says she ran down the hall. Catwoman can come visit her later, but right now they have to go. Catwoman takes comfort in Maggie's recovery and hope that they'll be able to talk through it all one day. The next day, the Adams Psychiatric Institute can't find Maggie, and furthermore, one of the Sisters of Mercy got mugged. They even stole her uniform. Maggie walks through the sewers dressed in a stolen nun's habit. She knew she would never have left the order and renounced her vow. She never should have left the order and renounced her vows. If she hadn't, she would have realized sooner that her mission in life is to kill the demon that took her sister and destroyed both their lives. The demon that calls itself Catwoman. And I'm trying to remember. I don't know if they ever paid that off because again, Catwoman didn't have another ongoing until New 52. So
Yeah. So that would have been like years, like through like 2 years later, a year later.
yeah, 'cause it was like towards the end of 2011, New 52, and this was already beginning of 2010. So
Yeah.
but oh yes, Black Mask was killed by Catwoman in Catwoman 52. So
Oh, okay. Wow.
yeah, so it had been a little bit of time. Mm. That's so funny. The years on Black Mask grave were 1971 to 2008, which I think he first appeared in the 80s. So that was probably revised.
Maybe just a little bit.
So yeah, what do you think?
I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, this was different, I think, than the standard. Much like the Phantom Stranger was different. This was different because it was sort of after her, but then it went after, her sister, based on, her feeling guilty about killing him. So, yeah, I thought this was a pretty good story, and the art was great.
Yeah.
And we got to see Harley, smack the crap out of him with her giant mallet, and, and then he gets eaten by a plant at the end. So, yeah.
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty good for the street level stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
And again, they got creative. It's like, this plant will keep digesting him as he keeps resurrecting. All right. Should we get to the next one?
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I recognize the names of a lot of characters in it, but I wasn't necessarily a reader of a lot of those
Yeah, me neither.
things.
Yeah.
So I could see how fans of those characters might not like all of those characters showing up here, But we're about to hit it, so let's hit it.
All right. As Will said, Weird Western Tales number 71 from March 2010. And the South shall rise again. Writer Dan DiDio, penciler Renato Arlem, inker Renato Arlem, colorist Hi-Fi Design, letterer Ken Lopez, and editor Mike Carlin. Joshua Turnbull, the great-great-grandson of Quentin Turnbull, is seen riding on horseback at the grave of his ancestor. As the Blackest Night descended over Earth, Joshua is summoned back to the ghost town called Illumination, a secret research facility for finding alternative fuel sources, where he bitterly meets Simon Stagg along with Java and the Ray. That was out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, the Ray. What? Okay.
Simon Stagg. Stagg has come in bringing a captured Black Lantern ring that was captured by the Ray, in which he intends on harnessing the power of the ring, because that cannot go wrong at all.
No, not at all.
Turnbull, however, is skeptical of Stagg's proclamation given the chaos these rings are currently causing, but is otherwise interested in unlocking the ring's secrets. After Stagg decided to leave the facility and the ring contained, the research then turns disastrous as an army of Black Lanterns, all of whom consisting of resurrected Western figures coming from the nearby mass graves surrounding the town, crash through the walls and attack. Turnbull realizes that they have come for the captured ring. The Ray holds off the Black Lanterns and providing Turnbull, the only survivor, to escape with the ring in order to learn and to end the Blackest Night, and to personally redeeming his family's name. Turnbull reaches the surface where he is attacked by a resurrected Jonah Hex. After being shot in the leg by Hex, Turnbull finds himself confronted by his ancestor, Quentin Turnbull, in which Joshua tries to convince him to help him in ending Hex for all the misery he had caused on their family. However, Turnbull shoots him, telling him that some things are thicker than blood.
Yeah. Plus, we got Bat Lash.
Yes.
I think was it
the Trigger Twins.
Super Chief too, or is it Super
Yeah,
Chief or
Super
yeah,
Super Chief, Scalp Hunter,
Scalp Hunter, yeah,
Fire Hair.
Fire Hair,
Yes.
yes, lots and lots of the
and
Western heroes.
and I assume these were the original Trigger twins and not the ones Jean-Paul Valley was knocking around as when he was filling in for Batman.
hmm Yep, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. When when he was filling in for
Batman, my favorite character.
There you go.
Under Contract Kids.
Yeah, this one, is the cover was really uh loose and sketchy and kind of
Yeah,
that scratchy Bill Sienkiewicz. I mean,
yeah.
Sienkiewicz is an amazing artist, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, it didn't feel like it fit to me. But that was, and then the interior art, while it was good, it was I don't know. This was a weird one. This one really was a weird one.
I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this on a Superboy Prime week, but this might have been my least favorite of the week, and maybe just because I had the least connection with these characters.
I think so. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And did the Ray die?
I don't know. That's what it looked like, but
I mean, and he shoved his assistant in there. I mean, dude was not awesome.
yeah, it looked like Turnbull just like left everyone to die pretty much. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I guess, I mean, okay, so the ring that they quote unquote captured, was
Well,
the
the
one
other
that
way
was
they
just
said,
sitting on top of Don's grave. Yeah.
yeah, and they said the other way they could move it was like the ray kind of used like formed like a light bubble or whatever to
hmm
carry it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
oh wait, yes. This issue was released nearly 3 decades after the last.
Yes. Weird Western Tales was released in August of 1980, number 70. 1980.
Wow.
Beginning of the 80s.
So, and then this was 2010. So yeah, pretty damn
30
close.
years later. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Joshua Turnbull mentions that among the Black Lanterns are those of Jonah Hex's Confederate platoon that were killed at the Fort Charlotte massacre, seen in Jonah Hex 35 and Weird Western Tales 29.
Wow. Okay.
So that was a wow, yeah.
Well, hey, number 18 of Weird Western Tales was the first all Jonah Hex issue, and that was in
Ooh.
73.
Hmm.
1973. Wow.
Mm,
Because it started with issue 12 in July of 72, July of 72.
huh.
Wow.
Interesting.
But I agree with you. I had zero connection to any of these characters. So, there wasn't even, I guess that there wasn't really that thrill of seeing, a character, long since dead show up as a Black Lantern because I wasn't familiar with all of them.
I'm like, unless you were like a long-term fan of like some of these characters, I'm like, this almost seemed like a passion project for Didio or somebody. I'm just like,
I think so.
Would you
Yeah.
do this?
hmm
So, I mean, you easily could have had Stag and some of these characters go to Star Labs or somewhere to examine this ring.
Exactly. And then you would have had a whole different, but they took it the Weird Western Tales route and we got this. I mean, and
It
it's not,
was weird. I'll give them
yeah,
that.
it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad issue. It's
No.
just, there wasn't a lot for me as a reader completely unfamiliar with most of these characters. The Ray is really the only character that I had any connection to. And
I mean,
I
just
don't, you know what? We should find out, did the Ray die?
I don't well, again, he's probably gets brought back by Bradis. I can't remember, but probably by Bradis Day. But yeah, I mean, think about how some of those stories were. How old of a fan you'd have to be. I'm like, I started reading full time in like the late '80s. You're a little older than me, and neither one of us is like connected to these characters. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
unless you went back and did a big binge of all like the Western comics, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even know that I don't think, they did like archive editions of the Weird Western Tales or anything like that. So, how would you get at a lot of these things if they hadn't been, reprinted, back, we're talking 14 years ago at this point. Now there's a lot of stuff available, online
Yeah.
via, the DC app. But yeah, this is a weird kind of thing, rightly titled weird, because I just don't know how many readers would have been familiar with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, some of these like Solomon Grundy or even like Hawkman and Adam, which we're gonna get to, it's like at least like people know these characters. They were still around at this point, and
Hmm.
if you hadn't read the original series, you're like, I know these characters at least.
Exactly. I mean, it's just maybe knowing the name. I mean, I know the name Batlash. I know the name Jonah
Yeah,
Hex. I
I
don't know that
recognize
I've
the
actually.
names, but yeah.
I don't know that I've read anything with them.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it's still, it was interesting. This one was pretty brutal from a body count standpoint, right?
Yeah, I mean,
More vicious and brutal than ever.
all right, you ready
Indeed.
you ready for Blackest Night 4? I see a long synopsis here.
Let's go, man. Rock and roll.
All right, Blackest Night number 4 from December 2009, Blackest Night Part 4. Writer Jeff Johns, of course, penciler Ivan Reyes, inkers Eau Claire Albert and Joe Prado, colorist Alex Sinclair, letterer Nick J. Napolitano, and editors Eddie Berganza and Adam Schlauman. All right. So yeah, of course, this continues from the last issue where we see the Flash in Washington, D.C. fighting against the Black Lantern Justice League. Meanwhile, in Coast City, we see Black Hand walking across the cemetery by the graves of Green Lantern Hal Jordan's parents, Martin and Jessica Jordan, while talking to the voice of death. As that's happening, we see Mera and the Atom facing off against Hawkman and Hawkgirl, who were resurrected as Black Lanterns after being killed by the resurrected Elongated Man and his wife, Sue Dibney. They find out that the Indigo tribe teleported Green Lantern away so that he can rally together the other Lantern Corps, find the source of the Black Lantern rings, and destroy them. Flash tells them that in the meantime, they need to protect Earth until Hal returns with the other Lanterns, and that they need to bring all the heroes up to speed on what's going on. When he asks where Firestorm is, Firestorm appears, except that it's not the Firestorm that they know. It's Ronnie Raymond, the original Firestorm, who's been resurrected as a Black Lantern, along with many others like him. The Black Lanterns chase after Mera, Flash, and Atom, with Black Lantern Firestorm leading the charge. Ronnie tells Barry that he's absorbed Jason into the Firestorm Matrix, allowing him to access his full powers. However, Jason tries to fight back against the Black Ring and briefly takes control of Firestorm's body, long enough to tell the three heroes that Ronnie killed his girlfriend. Jason also tells them that the Black Ring is calling for him and the rest of the heroes and that they need to evacuate Earth. But Ronnie regains control of the Firestorm body. Then Aquaman, recently turned into a Black Lantern, attacks Mera with the other Black Lanterns. Barry uses his powers to create a force of wind to hold them back. Adam gets to a phone and starts dialing 911 and takes them through the phone lines to the police station. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, the Scarecrow listens to the fear in the people around him, but wants to feel it too. Nearby, Azrael, also resurrected as a Black Lantern, kills a nearby civilian with his blade and goes after the Scarecrow. But because he cannot feel fear, he is considered to be invisible to the Black Lanterns, saying that nothing scares him. Only, what's the one thing that scares the Scarecrow?
Batman, my favorite character.
In Metropolis, deep inside LexCorp, we see Lex Luthor monitoring the Black Lantern Corps and talking with Calculator on the events going on around the world. He tells Calculator that as far as he's concerned, it's every man for himself when it comes to going up against the Black Lanterns. Back in Washington, D.C., the Black Lanterns are searching for Barry, Adam, and Mera. At the police station, Flash gets all the people to stay indoors and be calm, telling them that the Justice League is handling the situation, which Adam points out is a lie. Mera feels that they should find Superman and Wonder Woman, but for the time, Flash tells Adam and Mera that they are Superman and Wonder Woman respectively. Mera doesn't feel that way, considering that she lost her husband and her son to the Black Lanterns. Ray has been through a lot with his wife and what happened to Sue, but he needs to get over it and fight back. Barry tells them that they need to take charge and attack the Black Lanterns because that was what they were born to do. While Flash warns everyone what's going on, Adam takes Mera through the phone lines to get in touch with Mr. Terrific, saying that Alan Scott will be with him and to get his help on destroying the Black Lanterns. In Manhattan, we see the Justice Society facing off against the members of the Freedom Fighters who were killed. As that's happening, Adam and Mera emerge from one of Mr. Terrific's T-spheres asking for Green Lantern. As they are doing that, Barry gets in touch with all of Earth's heroes, including Wonder Woman, the Teen Titans, Green Arrow, and Black Canary, telling them about the Black Lanterns and what they're doing. He tells them that until Hal destroys the source of the Black Lantern rings, it's their duty to hold the line until then. Also, that these lanterns feed on all kinds of emotions, so that they need to keep their feelings in check. And finally, he tells them that some of the heroes have the ability to generate intense light powerful enough to at least weaken the rings long enough for them to be destroyed conventionally. Back at Coast City, we see Black Hand talking to the skull of Bruce Wayne, or so he thinks, as the charge of the Black Rings comes closer to reaching 100%. As Barry is running, he's contacted by Wally and Kid Flash, telling them that they're also spreading the word to the other heroes, and Barry tells them to go wherever there's trouble. Meanwhile, in Manhattan, the Justice Society, along with Mera and Adam, continue to face off against their dead members who have been resurrected as Black Lanterns. Green Lantern tells Adam that his ring is not connected to the central power battery of Oa, and therefore doesn't operate the same as the rings of the Green Lantern Corps, but tries anyway. This gives Mera the opportunity to use her water powers to drown the Black Lanterns, but it's ineffective as the Black Lanterns continue to attack them. Damage and Atom Smasher are attacked by their father, Al Pratt, the original Adam. Adam attacks Atom Smasher while Ray shrinks himself and jumps into Adam's body, leaving Damage to face off against his father. They match each other blow for blow until Ray enlarges himself, ripping Adam in half, telling Damage that they're going to do things his way, meaning that they continue to beat them down until they are stopped, to which Damage has no problem with. However, Damage is killed and his heart ripped out by Ray's wife, Jean Loring.
Revisit that again.
Identity crisis, the gift that keeps on giving. At that instant, the Black Lantern rings register their power levels at 100%, causing pain to Barry as the next phase of the plan of the Black Lantern Corps begins. We then see the Scarred Guardian on the planet Ryut in Sector 666 in front of the Black Lantern Central Power Battery as the battery teleports to Earth, specifically Coast City. Barry finds himself on the outskirts of the city and tells Wally and Bart to come to Coast City as fast as they can. He then finds Black Hand and goes after it, only to be blown away in an explosion caused by the Black Lantern Central Power Battery appearing in front of them. Then Black Hand commands his master to rise. Barry then sees a Black Lantern Power Battery rising from the ground on a scythe, being held by a hand. As that's happening, Barry asks Hal where he is. As thousands of Black Lantern rings fall into the ground in the cemetery around Barry, the Guardian of the Black Lantern Corps tells Barry his life belongs to him, Necron, Lord of the Unliving. Thoughts?
This was awesome because one of the things I think Jeff Johns does extraordinarily well is tweak and reuse existing continuity, right? And instead of coming up with a new villain, he used Necron, who was, from the Tales of the Green Lantern Corps limited series, which was in the early 80s. Hang on a second and I'll look it up. It's, at the time, if I'm remembering this correctly, granted, this is more than a few days ago, so, but there was a lot of, what's going on, who's behind it, who's the big bad, right? And I'm sure people guessed Necron, but to finally get to the reveal here, we're halfway through the series now. Issue 4, the Black Lantern rings are charged, and that charge brings Necron to Earth with a Black Lantern power battery that has the Anti-Monitor in it and a bunch of Guardians and a Black Lantern Guardian as I mean, yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is a really good issue, I thought.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially for one where we don't have like any of our lanterns, really. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, let's see. That 3-issue series, which I think is collected in a trade paperback. I'd have to double check that. It is May of 81 to July of 81. So 3 issues. And there's an annual, which was in 85. Yep, and it looks like it has been collected in, there's like 3 volumes of trades that also collect other stories from probably the Tales of the Green Lantern and the backup in the volume 2 of Green Lantern as well. So yeah, this one's good, and it really ratchets everything up a level because we don't get. Not only are there no Green Lanterns in this, there's no other. The only Corps that we see is the Black Lantern Corps.
Yes.
Period. That's it.
No red.
None of the others.
There's nothing. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Nobody else. And this is a really great midpoint for the series because things really have gone from bad to way worse.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like all the lanterns are busy, so it's like Earth's like fending for itself at this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we are going to find out something very special about Earth, which is why this is happening on Earth in upcoming issues and episodes.
Heck yeah.
Brightest day.
All right.
So, what did you think about it, sir? I've gone on and about it.
Like I said, I mean, this could be a slow week, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Especially even though there were no lanterns in this, pretty much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, even with the Western stuff, I didn't identify with. Even with Superboy Prime, no, I consider it a decent week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. The and I did check up on the Ray. He was apparently fine. Showed up later fine, so he didn't die in that.
Well, I was gonna say, isn't he kind of made a light? So I don't know if it's probably harder to kill him and stuff.
Yeah, one would think so. But this is a good. We are. Let's see. Is this week 7? What week is this?
This was 6. Yeah,
this was 6. So we're not really. We're almost exactly half, but not quite. Right.
Well, like I said, I think halfway through this episode was halfway because it's 13
Oh, gotcha.
weeks. So yeah, so
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, perfect. I mean, this really is. You just have to kind of. You have to just kind of, just give them props for the way this thing is paced out, plotted, and everything, because it's really. I would go out on a limb and say that it's probably one of the best executed DC crossovers, period. And I don't know if there's, and I'm not sure which one I would put above it, if I would put one above it. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, it is one of the best ones. I almost want to say Crisis on Infinite Earth.
The original Crisis was really well done because they planned it years in advance. And
they literally had to rewrite the entire universe. And again, that thing I swear gets bumped up a few points just from the George Perez art.
Of course, yeah.
Because there are so many people who cannot tackle. I mean, everybody who's in the DC universe at that point was in that series somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
So
I think this is in very, very heady company as far as a DC crossover.
And I think, like you pointed out before, this is like isn't this like the first like lantern centric Crisis? Yeah,
yeah. That was something that always bothered me as a Green Lantern fan. Is like, Green Lanterns didn't do much during the original Crisis. Hal was kind of not really a Lantern, and it was only after that he got
Yeah.
all that weird stuff, going on. And then, after Crisis, the next really big DC crossover was probably 0 Hour, which was what 8 years later?
Yeah, that was like the big cosmic one, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, unless you count Millennium.
And Millennium, true, very true. Invasion,
I mean, that was kind of quick. That was like three ish.
3 issues and done, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, Millennium. That's something we may have to go back and do one of these days, just because I don't remember a lot of it, and
Well, again, it was like Manhunters had like sleeper agents among
yeah.
Because I know they had
And then-
they had brainwashed like most of the kids in Smallville of a certain age. Like Lana Lang was like
yeah.
subliminally under their control.
And we got some new Guardians out of it, which Tom was one of the new Guardians.
New Guardians, yeah.
Because the Guardians eventually, I think they left after Millennium
I thought
to
they
go hang out with the Zamoras, or was
Yeah.
it?
I don't
can't
know.
remember the timeline.
Oh yeah.
That was a long. We're talking
That was the 80s.
almost 40 years ago,
Yeah, Millennium was late 80s. Yeah.
late 80s. So yeah, like 35 at least, maybe closing in on 40 years ago. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Don't feel old at all. Get off my lawn. Sorry.
Yeah, you really don't feel old at all. Well, yeah. Now leave the room and go kiss your granddaughter.
That's right. Exactly. Oh, my back. Sorry.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it, sir. I think this was I don't think we've had a week, pardon my pun there. But from week to week, I mean, there's each group of books that we've been reading have been fairly consistent and strong, I think.
Yeah, there hasn't been a week where everything it's been a complete clunker.
Yeah.
No.
There've been some misfires here and there, and I think we've talked about, and that's not to say that Weird Western Tales was a misfire. It just didn't necessarily resonate with either of us because neither of us were familiar with 99% of the characters that were in it, right?
Yeah. All right, but yes, next week, we're gonna get back to Green Lanterns, Green Lantern Corps 41, Green Lantern 47, and like you said, we're gonna wrap up Blackest Night Superman, Blackest Night Batman, and Blackest Night Titans.
Nice.
And then in 2 weeks, we're gonna get to some new ones: Blackest Night Flash #1, Blackest Night Wonder Woman #1, Blackest Night JSA #1. And then Green Lantern Corps 42 and Green Lantern 48. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Moving along right through it.
Heck yeah. Oh my. In 3 weeks, it's gonna be Blackest Night 5 and 6 and Green Lantern Corps 43 and Green Lantern 49. So if you were missing your Green Lantern kids in like 3 weeks, it's gonna be all lanterns.
That's right. All lanterns all the time.
So see, it balances up. All right. So yes. So send us your thoughts on what's come beforehand, what's coming up. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, send us feedback. You'll win a prize, especially on this show. You'll win a Green Lantern prize pack.
Absolutely, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, we got pins, aka badges. We got comics. One lucky person will win a random Green Lantern Funko. So come on, kids. And again, you can find all Capes and Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon. Again, please support us through the Patreon because I promised and I've delivered. Lilith and the Patreon have been
more vicious and brutal than ever.
In 2024, you'll walk away saying,
"Oh, that's naughty."
And
I love it. I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon.
To find everything all in one place, that's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right, Mr. Will Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of podcasting, and Kickstarter comics, which I believe you have a new campaign going on right now.
We certainly do. First, you can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED. At Gmail and Facebook and Blue Sky and Twitter. I refuse to call it X, and probably other social media that I've forgotten about. If you'd like to check out Crossover Division, which is we're up to issue number 5 now on Kickstarter. Just go to crossoverdivision.com/KS or crossoverdivision.com/Kickstarter, and you can check it out. We launched a day ago, as when we were filming this, and we are already over 50% funded and moving and grooving right along. So also you can check out Diary of Night, which is another book that I write, Diary of Night at diaryofnight.com. And finally, obviously you guys have great taste. You're here listening to Phil and I talk about, Green Lantern. So you probably love Marvel's Quasar almost as much as we do. And if you'd like to find out more, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org. I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
I hope it's going somewhere nice.
They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
Love that quote.
Back to Hal Jordan.
Just heard the greatest clip of all time. Who said it? I did. All right, kids. Yes, come back next week, part 7. We finally wrap up that Batman, Superman, Titans, Blackest Night miniseries, and Green Lantern Corps. We'll be back.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty of the second half of this event. Oh, and if you do love Quasar, stay tuned for the beginning of April when Justin and I, and hopefully special guest Will Allred, will be covering something. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, it's not the cat, it's the cowboy. Good night.
All right.